Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Well, today is going to be a high of 82. There's a slight chance of rain, but I'm going to be going out to lunch with a couple of friends, and they wanted to try Thai food. So I looked up the restaurant. I forget the name of it, but it's got Japanese food too. And about the only thing that I like on the menu is yakisoba or fried rice. I'm not a big fan of spicy food, so, and I know a lot of that cooking has, peppers and stuff in it, so not a big fan, but I do like yakisoba. Actually, I like to get the yakisoba frozen at Costco. It's really good. So, anyway, that'll be fun. So, I finally plugged in my little freezer that I bought several months ago. My grandson ordered Factor for himself. So we need the extra freezer space anyway to spread things out a little bit so that I know what I have, so that I can continue to cook down my freezers a little bit. And it's only 3.5 cubic feet. Is that right? Well, anyway, but it's an upright. I have a chest freezer that's small, but I don't like chest freezers, so I'm still debating if I'm going to keep that one or give it to my daughter. So anyway, cheers. So the 3 freezers that I do have are small. The one is an upright that goes with my refrigerator, which I don't like because it's not wide enough. Can't even get a pizza box in there. The chest freezer is small too. I think it's 5 cubic feet. And then, no, I think this upright one is 7.5 cubic feet. Anyway, they're all 3 small freezers. So I used to have a 13 cubic foot freezer that I had for over 40 years, but that one finally gave up the ghost. So that's when I got the little chest freezer, but I'm not real happy with that because you never know what's at the bottom. And I know, you can make an inventory, but you don't always keep up with that either. So I wanted a little upright freezer. So hopefully at some point I can get down to 2 freezers, 2 smaller freezers. So anyway, the saga of the freezers continues. So yesterday I got the patio cleaned up and it looks much better. And maybe when I get back from the luncheon, I'll do a little bit more in the garden, but that's probably doubtful because we usually sit and yak for a good couple of hours. So by the time I get back, I'm not going to feel like getting out in the garden. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee now, and then I will meet you over there at the budget book. Well, I'm out here on my deck in my pajamas, but it's very private. I'm surrounded by woods and trees and plants. So I went out in my garden this morning and harvested a few more things, just things that I missed, and I noticed my yellow squash has powdery mildew. So I cut all the leaves off, and gonna have to put something on it. There's a lot of homemade remedies out there for powdery mildew, so I have to do a little research, but that's fine. So, and I'm finally getting some, oh, what do you call them? Ground cherries. I'm getting some ground cherries, but I don't know when to harvest them. So I'm thinking, somebody said when they start to fall off, then they're ready. So, but I do have a few, and only of all the seeds I planted, only one came up. So, but that's okay. At least it'll give me more seeds for next year. So I have to do a little bit of planting yet. I have a little dogwood tree that if I don't get it in the ground soon, it's not going to do well. But it's still doing fine, and it's a pink dogwood. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if it'll bloom next year, but we'll see. And both of my weeping red buds have finally started to grow. So I have to get out in the backyard and weed today or tomorrow. I'll probably do it tomorrow because this week it's in the lower 80s and that's perfect. That'll be really nice. So next week it's going to get a little warmer, but I'm hoping to stay home more. Today I'm going to go, of course, to the lunch with my friends, and then I think tomorrow I'll probably stay home and get a little bit of cleanup done now that everything is planted and you know it's growing like crazy. I mean, I've never had a garden like this. I've always had decent gardens, but this year the garden is just absolutely phenomenal. So I'm happy about that because that was a lot of hard work. And I did use all the old soil. But I amended it with fertilizer, and what else did I put in there? Some bone char. Yeah, a bunch of different things. So whatever I put in there must be working. So all the flowers on the deck are still beautiful. They're doing very well. And I can show you. There they all are. So they're doing very nicely. And my fuchsias are starting to bloom again. I really should transplant those. There we go. I should transplant those, put them in a bigger pot with some fertilizer, because there's still a good couple months of growing season before it starts to get a little chilly again. So I'm just sitting out here enjoying my cup of coffee, and then I'll be getting ready in a little bit to go to eat. And like I said, I think I'm just going to order some yakisoba because it's what I know. And if you're going to spend $15 on a meal, you at least want to get something that you know you like. And a lot of the other things that I read about, they have some sort of a house sauce that, you know, they make, but I'm not going to spend $15 on a meal that I'll end up not liking. So I'll just get the yakisoba. So, alright, well, I should start getting ready. I cut up all my veggies from yesterday, cooked up the Malabar spinach. Now that does have a spinach-like flavor, but it's crunchier than spinach. It doesn't get quite as soft as spinach, but it's good. I like it. So I cooked that up, and I froze a lot of the green onions for future me. And the tomatoes, I'll give some to my daughter, and then I'll take some to my mom, and I'll eat a few, and then if I get a lot, because there's a lot on the vines yet, if I get a lot, I'll just make those into a sauce. So, all right, well, I'm going to finish my coffee and get ready to go, and I'll be back later. Well, I'm back from my outing, and it was very nice. So I cooked up some Malabar spinach this morning before I left, and it's very similar to spinach, but it has more of a I can't really describe it. It's not as delicate as spinach. So I had some of that with my dinner tonight. I mixed that in with my stew that I made the other day. So I don't have to cook now for at least 3 days. I brought home, 2/3 of the yakisoba that I got at the restaurant. It was a big, huge portion. It was very good. So I still have that, and I still have some of the stew. I have some salads, and I'm still trying to use up what I have. So we stopped at this bakery that was within walking distance of the restaurant, and they have sourdough bread. So I bought a small loaf of garlic sourdough. I haven't tried it yet. They only had a frozen one, so they gave me $1 off. But it was $7 for a little loaf. Bread has gotten really expensive. And then I bought regular sourdough, which I had sliced there, and that was $6. So, but I froze most of the sourdough. I just kept a little bit out because I still have bread in the refrigerator that I have to use up. But I don't get to this place where the restaurant was very often, so I figured I would try the sourdough there, and it's very good. I like a nice sour taste to my sourdough, and not all sourdough is the same. So a couple years back, I made a sourdough starter using, using some, what the heck was it? Well, I guess I don't remember how I made it, but it was very good. Yeah, that's what it was. I started it with some kombucha. That's what it was. And you can use all kinds of things to start sourdough starter. You can use pineapple juice. You can use just flour and water. But I tried it with the kombucha, and it was really good. But then the starter, I left it in the fridge too long and didn't feed it, because that is kind of a pain. You know, you have to feed it at least once a week, and then whether you're ready for bread or not, you need to either throw some away, you need to discard some, or you need to bake with it. So my starter kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so I just let it go. I probably could have revived it, but honestly, it was more trouble than it was worth. But it really, really made good sourdough. The only thing that I didn't like about it was, you know how kombucha forms a SCOBY if you've ever made it yourself? This was always forming a skin on top as well. So that was one of the downsides, but I mean, all you had to do is, you know, throw that part out. So it wasn't really a big deal. But anyway, I think I might start it again. I used to make homemade kombucha all the time, and I actually liked it much better than the store-bought kind. But I kind of let that go too. You know, you get busy, and I have times where I have more time on my hands and times where I have less time on my hands. And I don't want all this busy stuff in the background going, oh, you need to take care of me, you need to take care of me. Sometimes I just want to take care of me, and that's it. So I let that go. But I will make it again once I get a little bit more caught up with all the things that I have to purge and rearrange. And now, of course, it's the garden cleanup that I have to do. I did clean it up, it was fine, but the weeds are back. So, and I need to trim. My wisteria is going crazy. Everything's going crazy out there. It just, I can hardly even keep up with it. That's how much it's growing. So today, I had to cut back a lot of the leaves from my squash, from my summer squash, because it was getting powdery mildew. I think I already mentioned that. And it was just overshadowing all the other boxes I had there, and I do not want to move those boxes again. They are staying put where they are. So next year, I have to plant my squash off on its own a little bit and not so close to the other boxes that where I'm growing other things. Anyway, that's my plan. And since I have to grow things in the boxes anyway, I might as well see how I'm doing this year with the boxes where they are, which is fine, but I do have to rearrange some of the crops next year. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And lunch was very nice. We were there a couple of hours, and we talked about a lot. We talked about politics, and you know, one of the friends went to Florida with her family, and she said how beastly hot it was there. So, and then she was telling me the flights. It was like an all-day project just getting from there back to her house, because they kept canceling flights, and you know, then they had to go to Chicago, and then they had to go to Cleveland, and that's why I don't have any interest in traveling whatsoever anymore, whether that's driving or flying. A train trip would be nice, but they are so expensive. $7,000 for a train trip. That's a little too rich for my wallet. But I did quite a bit of that when I was a kid, in my younger years, when we would go visit my grandparents in Europe, depending on where we were going. One year I went with my cousin and my aunt. She was married to a Serbian man, and we went from Germany all the way through the Swiss Alps, which was absolutely beautiful, and all the way to where they lived in Yugoslavia. So that was a beautiful train trip. So I do have those memories, and but you know, if it wasn't so expensive, I wouldn't mind doing a trip, you know, here in the States. I know there's a train that goes all the way across the States. I imagine that's super, super expensive. Or the Napa Valley has a train, but like I said, I have no desire to get on an airplane anymore. I used to like to fly. I thought it was fun, but now not so much. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, my friends. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.